Hey guys, so our last lesson in section 1, module 4, the numbers are really ugly. Okay, so we still have these equations, we're still using the same inverses to solve for our unknown, or to isolate that letter, okay, our variable. Okay, but if you notice these first three, they're pretty ugly. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into this. All right, to solve for v, we need to get rid of this minus 3/8. Remember, the minus 3/8 is really a plus a negative 3/8. So if we add 3/8 to both sides, we would end up with b equal 4/8, which is 1/2. Always, always reduce. Okay. Okay, now the check. v minus 3/8 equal 1/8. I'm going to plug in this 4/8 because I'd be all set with common denominators. If I plugged in the 1/2, wouldn't I need to go back and get a common denominator? Okay, so I'm going to plug in this 4/8 up here. 4/8 minus 3/8. Yes, that gives us 1/8. 1/8 equals 1/8. All right, this guy, 3/4 times r. Well, if I want a 1r, wouldn't I multiply by 4/3 to both sides, the whole equation? Okay, so I'd be left with 1r equals, I don't see anything that can cross cancel. The 3 and the 4 can't, the 3 and the 2 can't. So this is going to be 8/9. Okay, so let's go ahead and do a check. 3/4 r equal to 2/3. 3/4 parentheses equals 2/3. Let's throw in the 8/9 right here, 8/9. Okay, I can do some cross canceling. This 4 and this 8 goes 1 time, 2 times. The 3 and the 9 goes 1 time, 3 times. Do you see that 1 times 2 and 1 times 3? We get 2/3 on this side. 2/3 does in fact equal 2/3. Okay, and at any time you can pause and try these. These are just kind of yuckier numbers, harder to do because the numbers are yuckier. Okay, but you should be able to get through them. Okay. All right, this guy. We're going to go ahead and minus the 1/3 to get this n all by itself. Okay, well, when we minus a 1/3, see, we'll have n equals 7/12 minus 1/3. That's what our problem is now. 7/12 minus 1/3. Okay, we need common denominators. We need n equals 7/12 minus something twelfths. 12 is our common denominator. This needs a 4. So this would end up being n equals 7 minus 4, or 7 plus negative 4, same thing, 3/12. So n equals 1/4. Okay, so let's do the check. 1/3 plus n equals 7/12. 1/3 plus something equals 7/12. Let's put in, I'm going to put in this 3/12, and then I'll just have one thing to get into a common denominator rather than two things. Okay, so I'm going to put 12 here plus 3/12 here. This would need a 4. Okay, I've got 7/12 on this side equals 7/12 on this side. Checks. Oopsies, let me scooch that up. Okay, so I got a common denominator of 12. This one stayed. This one needed a 4, so 4 times 1 is 4. 4 plus 3 is 7/12, and that does equal 7/12. Alrighty. To get this x by itself, the inverse of this plus 1/2 is a negative 1/2. 5 minus a half is 4.5. If you want to do it that way, that might be the easiest. Okay, let's do the check. X plus 1/2 equal 5. 4.5's going in here. 4.5 plus a half, that is 5. 5 equals 5. All righty, bringing on some decimals. Get rid of that 2. Add 2 to both sides. This would be 0.25x equals 10. Okay, now if x is being multiplied by 0.25, wouldn't we divide by 0.25? Okay, and it's okay to use a calculator if you have decimals. Okay, this would end up being, you should see 40 times. Okay, let's do a check. 0.25x minus 2 equal 8. 0.25 parentheses minus 2 equal 8. Tucking in a 40 right here. 40 times 0.25 is 10 minus 2 equal 8. What is 10 minus 2? That's 8. Is 8 equal to 8? Yes, it is. All right, this guy. Okay, to get rid of a multiply by 8, wouldn't we divide by 8? But this thing divided by 8, ugly. So divided by 8 is the same thing as multiplying by 1/8. 1/8 times 8x is 1x. 1/8 times negative 1/4. Remember that negative can be in the middle, the top, or the bottom. It does not matter. So this is going to be negative 1 over 32. Okay, let's do the check. 8x equal negative 1/4. 8 parentheses equal negative 1/4. Throw in a negative 1/32. This would be negative 8 over 32. Isn't that negative 1/4? That checks out. Scooch it up. Okay, throw in that negative 1/32. Let me just repeat what I already said, but you couldn't see it, so let me repeat it. And then 8 times negative 1 over 32 does in fact come out to be negative 1/4. Okay, page 2. 3 more left. Still ugly as ever. All right, we want that term with the x alone, so let's get rid of this 3. That would end up being negative 0.3x equals 1.2. All right, well, we need to get rid of, that needs to become a 1. Wouldn't that become a 1x? Please use a calculator if you need to. Okay, you might not need to if you think about scooching decimals over and stuff like that. Comes out to a nice negative 4. Okay, let's go ahead and do the check. Negative 0.3x plus 3 equals 4.2. Negative 0.3 parentheses plus 3 equals 4.2. Let's tuck in a negative 4 right here. Negative times a negative is a positive, and that would be 1.2 plus 3 equal 4.2. 1.2 plus 3 is 4.2, and 4.2 does equal 4.2. All right, this guy. Subtract negative 3/4 to both sides to get that a by itself. So wouldn't that just be a equals 4 1/4? Okay, let me do the check in pink this time so it doesn't blend into that one I just did. All right, so a plus 3/4 equal 5, parenthesis plus 3/4 equal 5. Tuck in the 4 1/4. 4 1/4 plus 3/4, that gets us 5. 5 does equal 5. All right, last one, number 9. We want that 2.4x isolated. So let's get rid of this this minus 7 by adding 7. 2.4x equal, this would be 12.6. Okay, to get rid of 2.4 times x, we would divide by 2.4. Isn't 2.4 divided by 2.4 1x? That's the whole point of that. Divide by 2.4. Please use a calculator if you need to. 12.6 divided by 2.4 is 5.25. Okay, now the check for this one, and calculator will be handy on this. 2.4x minus 7 equal 5.6. 2.4 parentheses minus 7 equal 5.6. Tuck in the 5.25. 5.25. Multiply that by the 2.4. It's 12.6 minus 7 equal 5.6. 12.6 minus 7 is 5.6. 5.6 does in fact equal 5.6. All right, so same process, uglier numbers. Okay, thanks guys.